The rain had been falling all morning, hammering the city streets like a relentless drum. At the edge of a crowded subway station, Mark, a single dad and army veteran, was hunched over an old thermos of coffee. He worked maintenance shifts at night, picked up on repair jobs during the day, and spent every free moment raising his 9-year-old daughter, Emma. Life wasn't easy, but Mark had one motto he lived by: I can fix it. Whether it was a leaky pipe, a broken toy, or a scraped knee, those words had carried him through wars, fatherhood, and sleepless nights. That morning, though, it wasn't a broken pipe he stumbled upon. Through the rain, Mark noticed a woman in a tailored navy suit pacing near the edge of the street. Her phone was in one hand, her other hand pressed to her forehead. He didn't recognize her, but others did because people slowed down, whispering her name. She was a CEO, the face he'd seen on billboards for a billion-dollar tech company, untouchable. Untouchably until now. Her voice cracked as she argued on the phone. I don't care about the shareholders right now. I don't know what else to do. She hung up and, for a moment, her shoulders sank. Her whole world looked like it was collapsing. Mark could have walked past. Most people did, but something in her cry for help, raw, unguarded, stopped him. You look like something's broken, Mark said gently, stepping closer. He wasn't trying to be clever. It was just the truth. She turned, startled. What? No, it's a broken bar. You wouldn't understand. Maybe not, he said, his voice steady, but I can fix things. Try me. The woman laughed bitterly. You can't fix this. My company is on the brink of collapse. Hundreds of employees, investors, the press, it's all coming down, and I don't have a clue how to hold it together. Mark studied her face. He saw what the world couldn't. Not a powerful CEO, but a human being on the edge of breaking. You've built something huge, he said, but maybe you forgot one thing. Things aren't always fixed with money or power. Sometimes they're fixed with people. She frowned. People? Mark nodded. In the army, I learned one truth: then equipment fails, plans collapse, chaos comes fast, but the mission survives if the people stand together. Right now, you don't need to carry it alone. Trust your team. Show them you're human, not invincible. That's the only way they'll give you their best when it matters most. The words struck her harder than a boardroom speech ever had. She had been trying to be perfect, a flawless leader. And yet here was a janitor, a single dada, telling her the one thing she had never considered, that showing her cracks could make her stronger. For the first time that day, her eyes softened. What about you? She asked quietly. What keeps you going? Mark smiled. My daughter. She's my mission. No matter what breaks, I fix it for her. Even if I'm tired, even if I don't know how. Love makes you figure it out. The woman stood in silence, rain dripping from her hair. And then as she exhaled, a deep, trembling breath, as if she was laying down armor she'd carried too long. Maybe you're right, she whispered. Maybe I don't need to fix everything alone. That evening, she walked into her company's headquarters, and not as the polished, untouchable CEO, but as a leader who finally admitted to her people, I can't do this without you. Instead of panic, something unexpected happened. Her employees rallied, ideas flowed, courage rose. What had seemed doomed hours before became a turning point. Weeks later, she invited Mark and Emma to the office. There, in front of her staff, she introduced him not as a janitor but as the man who reminded me how to lead. Emma's eyes lit up with pride, and Mark felt something he hadn't in years. Like his quiet, ordinary strength had changed something bigger than himself. Before they left, the CEO leaned down to Emma and whispered, your dad doesn't just fix things, he fixes people. And in that moment, Mark realized that sometimes the greatest repairs weren't about tools or wires, but about hearts. Because kindness isn't about status. Compassion doesn't wear a suit or carry a title. And sometimes, the strongest leaders are the ones humble enough to listen to a stranger who simply says, I can fix it. A few days later, Mark was back to his routine, patching pipes in an old apartment block and making dinner with Emma at their small kitchen table. He never expected to hear from the CEO again. But late one evening, his phone buzzed. Mr. Thompson. Her voice asked cautiously. Yeah, this is Mark, he replied, setting down the frying pan. There was a pause. Then she said, I just wanted you to know a broken bar the company stabilized. We didn't just survive, we're moving forward stronger, and it's because of what you told me. I thought you should hear it from me directly. Mark leaned back in his chair, a little stunned. I'm glad, really glad, but all I did was remind you of what you already had. Her voice softened. That's just it. No one else reminded me. Everyone around me was too scared to be honest. You weren't, and that honest broken bar saved us. Emma tugged at his sleeve. Who's that, Daddy? Mark smiled. A friend. The CEO laughed lightly on the other end. Actually a broken bar. I was wondering if I could meet Emma again. She reminds me of why I started all this in the first place, to build something that helps families like yours. I lost sight of that, but I don't want to lose it again. The following weekend, she visited their modest home. No entourage, no luxury carriage, just herself, a bag of groceries, and a smile. She rolled up her sleeves and cooked alongside Mark and Emma in their tiny kitchen. It wasn't about business or image anymore, it was about connection, humanity. At one point, Emma asked innocently, "Are you gonna be okay now?" The CEO knelt down, meeting her eye. "Because of your dada and because of people like you, yes, I'll be okay. And I promise, I'll do better for others too." That night, laughter filled the little home. For once, there was no billionaire and no janitor, just people. Weeks rolled into months, and life slowly returned to normal for Mark. Or at least, his version of normal. Long shifts, quick meals, Emma's homework spread across the kitchen table. But something was different now. Emma carried a new sparkle in her eyes. One night, as he tucked her into bed, she whispered, "Daddy, a broken bar. Do you think I could fix things too, like you?" Mark paused, his throat tightened, but he managed a smile. "You already do, kiddo. Every time you laugh, every time you help someone, you fix the world a little." Emma nodded seriously, as though she'd just accepted a mission. Not long after, Mark received another call from the Shah, this time with a surprising invitation. "We're starting a mentorship program," she explained, "pairing leaders with veterans, single parents, and everyday people who've faced real struggles. I want my executives to learn from them, from people like you. Will you join us?" Mark chuckled. "I'm just a janitor." Her reply was firm. "Noah, you're the man who reminded me what leadership really means. That's worth more than any title." At first, Mark resisted. Public speaking wasn't his thing, but Emma's encouragement pushed him forward. "Daddy, you have to. What if there's another person out there who needs to hear what you told her?" So he said yes. The first day he stood in that glass-walled boardroom, surrounded by executives in $1,000 suits, Mark felt the same nerves he'd felt before jumping out of a plane in the military. But then he remembered Emma's words. He took a deep breath and said simply, "In war, I learned that you can't win by pretending you're bulletproof. You win by standing shoulder to shoulder and carrying each other when you're weak." Buzziness, a broken bar. Life, a broken bar. It's no different. The room went silent, and vain applause. Some executives had tears in their eyes. They weren't just hearing a veteran's story, they were hearing the truth no one had dared to tell them. That night, when Mark returned home, Emma was waiting with open arms. "How'd it go, Daddy?" He lifted her high into the air, smiling wider than he had in years. "Let's just say a broken bar. I fixed something today." But what he didn't realize yet was this. He wasn't just fixing broken leaders or struggling companies. He was helping shape a movement, one that reminded people everywhere that real strength comes not from power or perfection, but from kindness, humility, and love. And sometimes, all it takes to start that movement, a broken bar, is one ordinary person saying a